This is the Newsload.
So what got you into politics?
After having gone to university and dropped out, not having enough money to finish, and then spending a few years working.
You're a university dropout?
I am. Now, I went back to college later.
Okay.
But that gap time working, and it was a lot of factory jobs and a lot of manual labor and a lot of very boring work. But what did happen along the way is I got involved with my union in one of the plants and became a shift steward and started getting involved with the political action committee, and I started trying on my political shoes a lot. And don't tell my bosses, but one of the reasons I loved working the midnight shift is because I got to read the paper while the machines were running and there was nobody around to bother me about it. So got to read all the news of the day and was really paying attention to this stuff. And I mean, that was at the time when the federal Liberals under Jean Chrétien as Prime Minister were talking about same-sex marriage rights, and they were talking about decriminalization of marijuana and these social changes that are in place today.
Changed everything.
But then were very controversial. And I was like, geez, I like the way that this government's thinking. These are things I personally support. They impact my life personally. I want to try on my political shoes. And so I started doing that. And that led me to meeting with Irene Matheson, who was a local NDP candidate and the president of the Riding Association at the time.
Who's a doll, if I may
say.
Absolutely
an incredible person. At the same time, we had Jack Layton running to become the leader of the NDP. So we had this
very cool
new leader coming up, bringing forward some great ideas. There was this great local person that I really felt a connection to. So
Jack Layton interviewed on Much Music, and I thought that was so cool to talk to the kids, you know, because we were the next generation.
Yeah.
And at 18, I was able to vote, you know, so it was fascinating to be able to have him come on and talk to us, you know, on Much Music, which is still a social platform.
One of the great things that I had in this campaign, just most recently, that sent me back to City Hall for my second term, was these 18-year-old hockey players whose skates I've been tying since they were 10 years old, who were voting for the first time. And they voted because they knew the person on the ballot. They knew somebody who was running. So they felt a connection. They felt a reason to go out and vote. And that was sort of what got me in too, as I met Irene. Jack Layton came to London on a leadership before the vote, and okay, I'm going to join the NDP and support Jack Layton. And I worked on Irene's provincial campaign in 2003. It was one of the first campaigns where she had a website and email. I mean, I know that seems like, oh my goodness, what was this, the 18th century? But really until the early...
a town crier coming through.
Right? But those were still new things. I mean, Windows 98 was sort of the first thing that started going into a lot of homes.
The world changed.
So when you think about 2003, that's only 5 years removed from that first big Windows platform coming out. So this was really the first time where there was a website, there was email coming in, and I was studying computer technology in college.
Oh, good.
So it was a natural fit for me to help put together the website, be the email correspondent. That was where I fit into the campaign the first time.
You found your little puzzle spot.
I mean, I thought I was going to go work with computers and not deal with people at all. I was going to deal with ones and zeros and programming and security software and that kind of stuff. And along the way, here came Irene Matheson and Jack Layton and an opportunity to do technology in a political campaign, and it just kind of came together, and I never went away. And since then, I've really been spending most of my time working with people, not with computers. So that's what got me involved. There was some social issues that meant something to me personally, and I just met the right people who inspired me at the right time.
This is the Newsload.